We're waiting for one of our guests of honor to arrive. Is Egan here? No. Hi. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I hate to break up such great fellowship. It looks like the new Sentinels back there are catching up on a few years of memories. Good morning, or I'm sorry, now it is officially good afternoon. I'm Johnny Sparks. I'm the director of the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. Today is a very special day for the school. Two legacy landmark annual events merge in today's ceremonies. During today's luncheon, the school continues its long tradition, which dates back to 1960, of recognizing National Writing Award winner as well as outstanding alumni. In addition, the nation's longest running Schron's Distinguished Lectureship in Public Relations, which dates back to 1979, joins today's ceremonies. Previously, the events were separate annual occasions. However, following journalism's renaming to the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication, stakeholders found it most fitting to unite our legacies in an inclusive day of celebration. Associated with this luncheon and the former Schron's dinner, the National Writing Award lecture and the Schron's Distinguished Lectureship in Public Relations continue today as part of a student-centered SJSC Conference Day. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of folks running around from place to place as we try to get as much out of this day as possible. Throughout the day, our distinguished guests will engage in conference-style sessions and the CCIM Career Fair with our students. We are very excited to have everyone together for the first time for these renewed traditions and a united event. To kick off the day, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Jeffrey Mearns, President of Ball State University.
Thanks, Johnny, and good afternoon, everyone. As Johnny said, I have the great good fortune to serve as the president here at Ball State University, and it's a pleasure to join you for this very special occasion. It's an exciting day, as Johnny said, because we've come together to celebrate journalists and strategic communicators. These are women and men who are making exceptional contributions to a variety of professional fields. We're also celebrating the ongoing commitment of Ball State University to professional and scholastic journalism, as well as the evolution of our university's approach to training effective strategists, yeah. I saw my wife roll her eyes. She's a communicator, as you could tell. I got to work on some of those communication. To strategists and storytellers. As you know, and as Johnny made reference to, in the fall of 2021, about 2 years ago, our Department of Journalism formally became the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. And this change better reflects our ability as an institution and as that college to innovate, which is so important in this field, to keep pace with the ever-changing media landscape into which our students will graduate. The new name highlights the identity forged within the school, one that unites all students preparing for fulfilling careers, whether those careers lead them to classrooms or newsrooms or startup companies or public relations firms. And this spirit of a united identity is why we have chosen to combine two long-running traditions, as Johnny was saying, by creating one single premier event for our School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. Today's event merges our National Writing and Alumni Awards presentation, which dates back, as Johnny said, to 1960, as well as our Schrantz Distinguished Lectureship, a lecture series that dates back to 1979. And this year, right on time, it is my honor to announce that the recipient of our National Journalism Writing Award is Timothy Egan. We choreographed this. Thank you, Tim. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter and the author of 10 books. And our distinguished lecturer is Jim Parham, who's joining us as well. He's a Ball State graduate and the former CEO and president of Hirons & Company, a Hirons Company communications firm. And we're fortunate that both of them have joined us here today. So I know that Tim spoke last night about his latest book because I was not able to attend, but I was at an alumni event in Fort Wayne. But when I returned home last evening for dinner around 9 o'clock, my wife Jennifer, who did attend the lecture, Tim, told me all about your wonderful remarks and look forward to your continuing visit here on our campus. So I know that both of you, Jim and Tim, both of you have had an opportunity to experience firsthand the kind of educational experiences that we provide to our students, and we're grateful that you've joined us over these 2 days to continue to give those experiences to our outstanding students. So we also prepare to induct several new members into our Journalism Hall of Fame, and we will present several other awards. And so I am grateful to be with you today. Congratulations to all our honorees and award recipients. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you very much, Donnie.
Thank you, President Mearns. So at this time, I would like to invite Natalie Seeley to the podium. We noticed that in journalistic fashion, Timothy Egan arrived just on time, right before the deadline.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Natalie Seeley. I'm an associate professor here in the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. Since 1960, our school has coordinated a National Journalism Writing Award, sponsored by generous donors. The award recognizes excellence in journalistic writing. Several winners, including today's, have earned journalism's most coveted honor, the Pulitzer Prize. The School of Journalism and Strategic Communication proudly presents Timothy Egan with the 2023 National Writing Award for A Fever in the Heartland, the Ku Klux Klan's plot to take over America, and the woman who stopped them. Egan worked as a writer for the New York Times for 18 years, where he and a team of reporters earned a Pulitzer for the series How Race is Lived in America. Egan has authored 10 books, including the New York Times bestseller, The Immortal Irishman, and 2006 National Book Award winner, The Worst Hard Time, which was featured in the Dust Bowl documentary by Ken Burns. Loved that one. His 2023 nonfiction novel, A Fever in the Heartland, was an instant New York Times bestseller. The book chronicles the life of D.C. Stevenson, the KKK's Grand Dragon of Indiana, and the architect of the group's second incarnation in 1920s America. At the peak of his influence, the deathbed testimony of Madge Oberholzer brought Stevenson to justice, and set in motion the Klan's demise. Congratulations to Timothy Egan, the 2023 National Writing Award winner.
Thank you, Ball State. This is wonderful. What a great honor. I wasn't sure how this book was going to be received among Hoosiers, to tell you the truth, but it's been a stunning and pleasant surprise. So thank you. This means a ton to me.
All right, so please enjoy your lunch. I will return to the podium in just a few minutes to continue with the program. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I hope that you're enjoying your lunch. Please continue to enjoy your lunch. To keep us on schedule, we're going to move ahead in the program. Now, I'm very excited to introduce the Dean of the College of Communication, Information, and Media, Dean Paige Turner.
Thank you very much. I oftentimes talk about it's my delight to serve as the dean of this college. But today I'm actually feeling proud. I have a deep sense of pride in our community coming together to celebrate the successes and to look at the failures and challenges that we face in our society, and to look at them with open eyes and in dialogue with each other so that we can identify what can we do so the history that was behind us isn't the history that we leave for others. I am incredibly grateful to be part of this college, and I would like to thank all of the alumni who have come back to join us, to be recognized. You are our flags that go out into society and show what the college offers to our society, and also what the university offers as well. So thank you all for being here with us today. I would also like to thank President Mearns, Mrs. Mearns, and Provost Mari for joining us as well, that we have senior leadership that believes in the work that we are doing, and that they join us to celebrate that work is not something that you find at every university, but you find it here at Ball State University because we are that community. In addition, there are several members of our cabinet, and if you know anything about operating a university, their lives are incredibly busy, and they have joined us as well. And I thank them for being here, because when we talk about what we do in our mission, it is about serving our students and our community, and it takes every member of our faculty, our staff, and leadership to do that. So please thank them so much for all of you for joining us. So one of the reasons that I so enjoy being dean of this college is that our college's mission is to take information, put it into context, to give it meaning. We can get information at the snap of a fingers or a phone, but that has to have meaning. And what does it mean in terms of our lives and the members of our community? Across our college, be it in journalism, strategic communication, information technology, communication studies, or media, we are doing that work so that we can give meaning to our communities. And that is more important than ever. We live in a world, as Team Egan has pointed out, that has a great deal of misinformation. Information that is not accurate, that is not fact-checked, that is not held up to the light to see if it stands. And journalists and strategic communication does that work. You are going out to find information and put the light on it so that we can see, is it true? Is it good? Is it who we want to be? And I am so grateful because the work that all of you are doing is creating the world that I and my children get to live in. So thank you for that. I also would like to express some gratitude for the individuals who sponsor and support through their donations to be able to host this lunch and to be able to provide our students with experiences that we couldn't just offer to them in the classroom. Your donations, your time, make an incredible difference in the lives and the experiences of our students. And one thing I'd like to share with you, we had our launch for our Call to Beneficence campaign as part of our university. And at this incredible event, we heard from donors and alumni who were giving money and what that meant to them. And some of our students who were attending came up to me afterwards, and they said to me, in 10 years, I want to be on that stage. And I'm thinking, yeah, because you want the spotlight, right? You want to have that recognition. And they said, I want to be on that stage because I have given back, and I can see what it means to be able to give back and to receive. that is what you are lifting up as part of our community. So I am delighted, grateful, and proud to serve as the dean. And as you hear about some of our alumni accomplishments, I know that you are going to be proud to be part of CCIM as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dean Turner. Hello, I am Dr. Young-Ah Lee, Associate Professor in the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. The Varans C. Schranz Distinguished Lectureship in PR is the nation's longest running PR lectureship and has brought some of the most prominent leaders to campus. Ball Corporation of Muncie, Indiana, established in the lectureship in 1979 to recognize 25 years of outstanding service for its first PR officer, Varun C. Schranz. A native to Minnesota, Schranz, who lived from 1915 to 1990, joined the Ball Corporation in 1954, and 8 years later became the company's first director of the newly organized PR department, one established on the principle of openness, honesty, and community service. The 2023 Varun C. Schranz Distinguished Lecturer in PR is Dr. James Parham. In 1979 graduates of Ball State Department of Journalism. Congratulations to Dr. James Jim Parham. Dr. Parham, could you please stand to be recognized at this time? Okay, thank you. Please be sure to join us in the ballroom just down the hall after your lovely lunch. And it's going to happen at 2 to 3:15 p.m. for Dr. Parham's lecture. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Grace Park, Assistant Professor in the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication.
So hello, everybody. So supported by Varun C. Schranz and family, the Varun C. and Mary H. Schranz Public Relations Scholarship is awarded to an outstanding undergraduate in public relations major. The distinction of Schranz Scholar is the highest academic and professional honor awarded to a strategic communication student by our school. Grace Wallace, could you stand to be recognized? As a president of the Public Relations Student Society of America, Wallace has more than tripled membership, hosted many communications professionals for career development, designed PR skill-based workshops, and created an event planning team to support the organization's future goals. Wallace has interned at Whole Heart Communication, Riley Children's Foundation, and Visit India as a PR and marketing intern. This spring, she will intern with the Ditto PR in Broad Ripple. Grace has worked at the Ball State Office of Admissions at the Welcome Center for the past 3 years and spent the summer of 2021 as an orientation leader. Wallace is a senior majoring in strategic communication, public relations with the concentration in media analytics, and a minor in hospitality management, a member of Kappa Tau Alpha Honor Society, a member of the SJSC Student Engagement and Success Task Force, CCIM Dean's College Advisory Council, CCIM Student Organization Leadership Task Force, and Rhythms Dance Troupe on campus. Congratulations to Grace Wallace, the Varun C. and Mary H. Schranz Public Relations Scholar for 2023 and 24. And now, Grace Carmen, could you please stand to be recognized? Grace Carmen, who was named a top 10 student by Ball State University in spring 2023, is only the third student in the award's 35-year history to be recognized as a two-time Strand Scholar. Grace served as the president of the CCIM Dean's College and Advisory Council, the vice president of PRSSA, and as the student MC at Cardinal Preview Days for prospective students, and SJSC as a student ambassador. Grace is a senior double majoring in public relations and advertising with the concentration in event planning and hospitality, and a minor in theater. Grace is also a student in the Honors College, where she is a student worker responsible for advertising and public relations. Congratulations to Grace Carmen, the Warren C. and Mary H. Strand's Public Relations Scholar for 2021 to 2022 and 2022 to 2023. And Grace Wallace and Grace Carmen, along with their PRSS colleagues, assisted the school event in planning today's event. Thank you to Grace Wallace, Grace Carmen, and all of our PRSSA students. Thank you so much.
And thank you to PRSSA's advisor, Dr. Grace Park. We're going to have a marketing campaign targeting Graces. Partnerships with foundations and financial support of individual benefactors are bringing industry leaders to our classrooms, student agencies, and student media. Award-winning columnist Bob Kravitz recently joined the school as our sports journalist in residence, a position funded by the Marilyn Weaver Faculty Fellowship Fund. Kravitz works one-on-one with students in the Unified Media Lab, home of the Daily News, Ball Bearings, Byte, and Newslink, Indiana. Bob, could you please stand to be recognized? Our award-winning students in student media are supported by their advisor, Lisa Renzi Rhodes.
Thank you, Johnny. I say often to anybody who will believe me and listen that I have the best job on Ball State's campus. Sorry, President Mearns. Sorry, Dean Turner. But I get to work with the students in our Unified Media Lab every single day, and they are a joy. We recently just had an opportunity to come back from a nice national conference where we brought home some hardware, one of which was the Daily News won the 2023 Newspaper News Magazine Pacemaker Award from the Associated Collegiate Press. The Pacemaker is recognized as the Pulitzer for college journalism. That's the 5th year in a row that we got to bring that home. So, additionally, our just past editor-in-chief Alyssa Maudlin was named the 2023 Reporter of the Year for four-year schools, National Reporter of the Year, and her story actually was named the runner-up Story of the Year, National Story of the Year as well. So we're pretty proud of Alyssa for that. She wasn't here to join us today. She's working in industry, which we're super excited about, but I want to celebrate Alyssa while we can. One more note about Alyssa, she actually was the finalist also for the Student Press Law Center's Freedom of Information Story of the Year, and that came from an investigation, 8-month investigation that she did on a local property management company that has had some challenges, and that story is available on our Daily News website if you'd like to read it. But the Student Press Law Center recognizes only one national winner, and Alyssa was a finalist for that, so we're pretty excited about that as well. Two other things of note, actually 3 other things of note. We're lucky today to have Daniel Keene. Daniel, where are you? Can you stand up? Thank you. He is our Michael P. Smith Scholar. He also is the Daily News Editor-in-Chief. And when I say that Daniel is there when I come in the morning and he's there when I leave at night, believe me when I say that. He is tireless. We're very fortunate to have him. And he's just a good human, too. We really like having him around. So, 2 other awards that we're excited about. Kyle Smedley couldn't be with us today. He's in class because he gets yelled at if he doesn't go by me. So he actually just won the Keating Award. So if anybody is aware, the Thomas Keating Award is presented by the Indianapolis Press Foundation. It's based entirely on writing. Students, there's 10 finalists across the state that are brought in for 2 days. They get an assignment to go out and they get to report for 2 hours and then write for 1 hour, and then their stories are judged. And Kyle was the winner for that. We're very excited about that. And last but not least, our partnership that we had between the Ball State Daily News, Ball Bearings Magazine, Western Kentucky Student Media, Western Kentucky Public Media, and Ball State Public Media was the winner of a 2023 Innovation Pacemaker Award. There were 4 of those that were given out in the country, and that one's a pretty big deal. So. Thank everybody so much. We really appreciate all the support that we get and the help. And I would like to welcome my friend, please, Dr. Kevin Maloney, who's going to share some information about his great team.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kevin Maloney, an associate professor in the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. The Anton Majeri Award recognizes innovation and leadership in the profession of graphic journalism. It may be awarded to a publication, staff, or person for creating a body of work or a singular piece that demonstrates innovation in news design or graphics reporting. This award is named for Anton Majeri Jr., who is here with us today. Stand up, Tony. Tony Majeri is a former senior editor for design and graphics at the Chicago Tribune, and under his leadership, the Trib won more than 100 awards from the Society of News Design, an organization that he was instrumental in creating. This year's Majeri Award winner is New York Times graphics editor Marco Hernandez. The unique power of visual storytelling is its ability to put a face on the faceless. It is to convey emotion, reveal invisible connections, and feel understanding within a split second. The particular power of the motion graphic work Hernandez is known for is to visualize the invisible consequences of human foibles. At the New York Times, Hernandez has won 150 of the Society of News Design Awards, a Pulitzer Prize, several Malofy Awards, and other global recognitions. These honors underscore the depth of his impact on the field and his commitment to pushing the boundaries of visual journalism. He says he strives to explain what he doesn't understand, and when his graphics give people answers, that satisfaction motivates him to tackle the next challenging story. His powerful print and digital work is about social issues, climate change, and more, has appeared in publications around the world, including the New York Times, Reuters, La Nación of San Jose, Costa Rica, Courrier Internacional, and the South China Morning Post. The Costa Rican native said he wants to be known as a visual journalist with humble origins, willing to share what life has taught him about this captivating form of communication. He said, "My legacy does not remain in the pages of the media that I have generously opened their doors for me, but in the many people that I have had the privilege of knowing and learning from." Marco Hernandez's work demonstrates unwavering dedication to his craft, a relentless pursuit of truth, and an ability to craft stories that resonate. His work serves as a beacon of inspiration for aspiring journalists and visual storytellers, affirming the enduring power of graphics to inspire understanding, empathy, and action. The Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication presents the Majeri Award for Graphic Journalism to Marco Hernandez.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here today. Thanks for your kind words. I think we live now in a golden age of information. Now we have constellations of satellites providing information for almost every single corner of the world, open for journalists to make their stories. We are facing now also huge advances in technology. AI brings us a lot of opportunities. Of course, there are a lot of challenges, and we need to be careful how we use this technology. But for the first time, we have the opportunity to take down all those walls, the limitations that you have to provide the story as you want imagine this time for this particular matter. So it's a really amazing, really exciting time to be a journalist, especially if you are into visual journalism. So thank you very much, Ball State.
Well, hello. The Marilyn Weaver Scholastic Journalism Award recognizes individuals and organizations who are making outstanding contributions to scholastic journalism. This award is named after Marilyn Weaver, retired former workshops director and chairperson of the then Department of Journalism at Ball State University. During her tenure, Weaver earned numerous awards and accolades for her staunch support of scholastic journalism. And we are so honored to have Marilyn Weaver with us today. Marilyn. The winner of the Marilyn Weaver Scholastic Journalism Award is Justin Pieper. Justin often tells his Homestead High School students that studying journalism was one of the greatest decisions he's ever made. Since 1998, he has worked part-time for the Bluffton News Banner in Bluffton, Indiana. He continues to write a weekly column and the occasional news or feature article. Journalism, he said, teaches you how to convey complex ideas and information to an audience. Journalism reinforces a set of skills applicable to any field, and Justin relies on those daily. He previously served as Homestead High School's Assistant Director of Student Publications. Pieper said he strives to mentor his students in ways that were modeled to him by his teachers, namely Brian Hayes, Pat Mills, and Larry Riley at Ball State University, where he earned bachelor's degrees in Spanish and journalism and secondary education in 2004. Pieper is a renowned Spanish teacher and chairs Southwest Allen County Schools Department of World Languages, who earned the Lilly Teacher Creativity Grant Award from the Lilly Endowment in 2011 and again in 2022. For his ongoing expressions of beneficence and devotion to exceptional scholastic teaching and mentorship, the Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication presents Justin Pieper with the Marilyn Weaver Scholastic Journalism Award. Would both of you please join me up front?
Thank you very much for those kind remarks. I was sharing with Marilyn and Dan Wichter earlier today that it was 25 years ago this fall that my dad brought me to Ball State to take a tour. And during that tour, we spent about an hour with Dan Wichter and Marilyn Weaver in the Department of Journalism, learning about all the great things that Ball State did. And I'll never forget on the drive home back to Bluffton that afternoon, my dad said, you know how amazing it was that you had the top two people in the Department of Journalism who spent an hour with you. That speaks volumes for how they both view their students. And it was that moment that I knew that Ball State is where I wanted to spend the next 4 years of my college career learning journalism. It was because of Dan and Marilyn. And it was just such an easy decision to make because of the time they put into an 18-year-old high school student who didn't know exactly what he wanted to do prior to that trip, but after that trip, it was a done deal. I'm in my 19th year of teaching high school, and every day I get to use what I learned through my time at Ball State, especially in journalism. I teach Spanish right now, but every single day, teaching really boils down to taking something that's complex and breaking it down so that an audience can understand it. And my audience right now are high school kids. And being able to learn how to do that through journalism school was the most incredible skill that I could have learned. Not only how to do it in a written way, but Ball State continues to be known for its ability to teach how to design and how to present information visually. And yet today, again, 19 years later, every single day, I try to break things down that are complex in writing and in visual ways for my students, and I couldn't have done that without the time I had at Ball State. So I really appreciate the opportunities I had here and the great professors who taught those skills that have served me very, very well all these years later. So Marilyn and Dan were both role models during the time that I was here, the 4 years I spent on campus, and it was such a privilege to be able to work for both of them in the Department of Journalism Secondary Education Office. So to receive this award today that carries Marilyn's name is such an honor, and I really want to thank the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication for this recognition. So thank you all very much.
Now I would like to invite Kate Elliott, Assistant Lecturer in the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication.
Good afternoon. We are grateful to the Ball State University Journalism Alumni Society, who sponsors several of today's awards. Now we turn our attention to our Alumni Awards. First, the Young Alumni Awards recognize achievements of School of Journalism and Strategic Communication alumni who have achieved significant recognition or accomplishments in their chosen field. Community service and/or service to the university. Awardees are under 36 years of age and majored or minored in one of the areas taught in the school or worked for student agencies or media within the school. This year, the Journalism Alumni Society is proud to recognize 2 recent graduates with Young Alumna Awards. The first is Ellen Gilmer. There we go. Ellen, yes. Ellen Gilmer's reporting about complex issues such as oil drilling on tribal lands demonstrate her passion to educate the public and those in power about the human and environmental impacts of their decisions. Gilmer's thoughtful reporting garnered the American Society of Business Publication Editors Award for online breaking news coverage in 2022, the Society of Environmental Journalists Award for Outstanding Beat Reporting, and the Native American Journalists Association Award for Best Environmental Coverage in 2017. As a senior reporter for Bloomberg Government, Gilmer covers homeland security, immigration, counterterrorism, transportation, and security. She previously tracked environmental and energy litigation and trends for Bloomberg Law and E&E News. As a student, Gilmer gained valuable insight and expertise as a member of the university's Undergraduate Policies Committee. She served as a reporter for NewsLink Indiana and the Ball State Daily News. She credits late Ball State assistant professor Kevin Heinen for teaching her valuable lessons as a journalist and a visual storyteller. Gilmer earned a bachelor's degree in journalism from Ball State in 2009 and a master's degree in environmental law from Lewis and Clark Law School in Portland, Oregon. For her commitment to impactful journalism, the Ball State University's School of Journalism and Strategic Communication presents Ellen Gilmer with the 2023 Young Alumna Award.
Thank you so much for this. This is a great honor. I haven't been back on campus in more than 10 years, so it's very exciting to be here. A lot is different, even though there's not the La Follette Tower anymore, where I had a lot of mediocre meals. And thanks to my mom, Maureen Gilmer, who's also a Ball State journalism alum, and my husband, David Lohr, for joining me. And thanks to Ball State for getting me in the young alumna category before I age out. Appreciate that. I met with a student earlier today, a junior journalism student, who just really impressed me, and I think it speaks to how this program has just continued to excel and grow, and I'm really proud to be an alum. I spoke with a student who was talking about her very ambitious reporting and high impact reporting on Afghan evacuees in the Muncie area, among other important issues. And I thought, you know, when I was a student, I remember writing a story about a hot pepper eating contest. I'm sure I did some hard-hitting stuff too. I know I did, and I know my professors expected us to, but I am just so impressed and proud of the students today and how ambitious they are and the faculty pushing them. So thank you for this award, and like I said, it's great to be on campus and see how everything has changed.
Our second Young Alumna Award goes to Kate Burnett Sarlito. Kate. Kate Burnett Sarlito is committed to ensuring every child has equitable access to health care. In her various roles at Riley Children's Foundation since 2013, Sarlito has helped grow gifts from $25 million to $50 million each year. As a member of the Riley Children's Foundation leadership team, Sarlito manages the executive office, including its key initiatives and communications. In previous roles at Riley, Sarlito has served as the official spokesperson, rebranded the statewide Riley Dance Marathon program, and created and implemented a crisis communications plan. Prior to her work at Riley, Sarlito taught in under-resourced public schools in Nashville, Tennessee with Teach for America. As a BSU student, Sarlito completed an internship in corporate communications with Cummins, Inc. in Columbus, Indiana. Sarlito said she was inspired by her Columbus North High School journalism teacher, Kim Green, who some of us know, who's a member of the Ball State Journalism Hall of Fame. Green brought Sarlito and her classmates to annual journalism workshops, which led her to enroll at Ball State. Sarlito earned a bachelor's in public relations and a minor in French. In recognition of her remarkable professional accomplishments and passion for serving Hoosier children, the Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication present Kate Burnett Sarlito with the 2023 Young Alumna Award.
Thank you. I also didn't know that Grace was getting an award today, so it's good to see a friendly face too. So I know Grace did wonderful things this summer as she was an intern at the foundation, and we were so happy to have her, and another testament to the wonderful things that students from the school bring to the community and those outside. So first, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a recipient of the Young Alumna Award today. It's truly an honor to receive an award from an institution that has had such a tremendous impact on me both personally and professionally. I must admit, I've been thinking about Ball State a lot recently, as my 2.5-year-old daughter is currently obsessed with the Ball State fight song, and we sing it almost nonstop. And I know she's probably jealous that she's not here today. If she knew I was at Ball State, she'd be very jealous. Also, before I began my collegiate career, as you heard, I had the opportunity to come as a high school student to participate in the journalism workshops thanks to a dear mentor and friend, Kim Green, who several of you know. She's had a tremendous impact on my life, numerous other people who've graduated out of the Columbus North Journalism program. And truly a seed was planted. Over time as a student here, that seed was nurtured and began to flourish, thanks to care and attention from faculty and the many wonderful leadership opportunities I had with on-campus organizations like Cardinal Communications, my sorority, Alpha Chi Omega, and Ball State University Dance Marathon. Through my engagement with these organizations, I utilized skills I learned in the classroom and transformed those teachings into real-world experiences. These collective experiences have translated into important life and career skills I employ today, and I'm grateful for all of the faculty members and mentors who helped guide me along the way. Finally, I have to say thank you to my husband and father who are here, and my mom who is watching our 2.5-year-old, who of course, very timely, is sick. So thank you, and so hopefully we will have another member of the Cardinal family in the class of 2024. Thank you again so much for this honor.
The Outstanding Journalism Alumni Award recognizes awardees who have established a distinguished career in their chosen field, community service, or university service. Awardees majored or minored in one of the areas taught in the school or worked for student agencies or media within the school. This year, the Journalism Alumni Society is proud to recognize 2 graduates with Outstanding Alumni Awards. The first is John Ketzenberger. There's John, yes. John Ketzenberger's desire and passion to educate and inform has positioned him to inspire positive change through a 37-year career in advocacy and journalism. Since 2018, the Indiana native has served as the Director of Government Relations for the Nature Conservancy in Indiana, which is part of the global nonprofit engaged in conserving land and water resources. Prior to that, he was president of the Indiana Fiscal Policy Institute, which conducts unbiased, nonpartisan research into the state's tax policy and budgetary practices. For more than 20 years, Ketzenberger served as a reporter, editor, and columnist at newspapers in Indiana, including the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette, Indianapolis Star, and the Indianapolis Business Journal. He was also a regular panelist on the statewide public television show Indiana Week in Review. Ketzenberger honed his skills as a journalist at Ball State. As editor of the Ball State Daily News, Ketzenberger led an award-winning team of journalists to cover campus and the surrounding community. That role equipped him to hold leadership roles within the Society of Professional Journalists, the Indianapolis Press Club and its foundation, and the Indiana United Ways. That steadfast commitment to inspiring transformation, both within himself and in the world, has been a constant theme throughout his career as a thoughtful journalist who operates with the utmost integrity. In recognition for his unwavering dedication to evocative, nuanced reporting and pushing our leaders to be responsible stewards of our planet, the Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication presents John Ketzenberger with the Outstanding Journalism Alumnus Award.
Well, thank you very much. It's a humbling and privilege to be here at Ball State, to which I owe much. You know, Ball State was kind of the launching pad for me, a small town Indiana boy who knew he wanted to be a reporter when he was in the 2nd grade and was lucky enough to realize that Ball State would help him get there. It's a great school. I got much from this. I met my wife here. Jolene, that's worth a round of applause. And our daughter is an alum who's currently in grad school here, so Ball State is very important to us. The chance to practice journalism was really an incredible opportunity, and I enjoyed it very much. The world has changed, and thanks to what I learned at Ball State, I was able to change with it. My career path came into advocacy, and it's one that I am happy to pursue, but I'm also very encouraged by what I see and hear of the students here To hear that a student from Ball State won the Keating competition, which I used to be heavily involved with, is so encouraging. To hear the awards that the Daily News continues to win, to hear about all of the work that's done across the school is nothing but optimistic for me. And so with that, I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity and the opportunity to represent Ball State, because it truly is a privilege and a pleasure, and one that I will never take for granted. So thank you very much.
The second Outstanding Alumni Award goes to Jeff Robinson. I saw him, yes. Jeff Robinson, Senior Director of Marketing at Visit Indy, said, "I get out to market the city that I love, and it's a privilege I am passionate about." Robinson's passion has generated outstanding results for a city that he says offers big city attractions with Midwest charm. During his 17-year tenure, Indianapolis Convention Room nights have more than doubled, and website traffic has reached over 3.3 million visits year over year. Robinson has helped set Indianapolis as the stage for iconic occasions, including the Super Bowl and the 2022 College Football Playoff National Championship. His love for Indianapolis drove him to invest a decade of service on the foundation board for Indy Hub, which engages, empowers, and embraces all 20 and 30-somethings living and working in Indy. With Indy Hub, Robinson moderated the 1828 Leadership Project, which guided a cohort of diverse rising stars through a year-long professional development experience. As a board member for the Indiana War Memorials Foundation, he's elevated awareness of Indy's awe-inspiring collection of monuments and memorials through guiding promotional efforts and sales of bricks of honor to honor the nation's military. Since 2016, Robinson has leveraged his experience in the tourism industry to teach the fundamentals of tourism planning and development as an adjunct professor at IUPUI. Robinson earned a bachelor's in journalism in 1999. For his dedication to creating a welcoming and vibrant destination, the Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication presents Jeff Robinson with the Outstanding Journalism Alumnus Award.
Well, it's a real honor to be here. My name's Jeff Robinson, and I am not running for mayor of Muncie. Yes, I've been getting lots of photos of yard signs. It is a real honor to be here. My time at Ball State really opened me up to all kinds of new experiences. I still remember being on the 6th floor in Studebaker, where I met my core group of friends that I still am extremely close to today. I learned lots of valuable lessons. I also met a young lady who lived 2 floors above me. We quickly fell for each other, but then that summer, this idiot walked away from her, right? I dated a couple other girls, and I came crawling back, and I learned the lesson of forgiveness. And next year, I'll be celebrating 25 years of wedded bliss to that woman, and I am grateful. The School of Journalism, I wanted to be a designer. That was always my passion. And by the time I got into the School of Journalism, I was forced to learn to write. I was forced to learn to think strategically. I learned so many things that I took with me out of here that I really wasn't even looking for. And all of those skills have served me extremely well throughout my career. Today, I get the unique opportunity to help market a city, right? I've worked for a lot of different agencies over my career, marketing products, right? If we do a great job, someone makes more money, that's great. But in my job today, if we do great work, it makes the place that I live and call home a more vibrant place to live, work, and play. If we do our job well, it means 83,000 plus people get to earn a paycheck thanks to the conventions and events that we bring in every day. It's a real honor, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the lessons I learned in the School of Advertising and Journalism. I still remember a trip that we took to Chicago. We went to J. Walter Thompson, one of the biggest ad agencies in all of Chicago. And it literally was like Mad Men come to life, right? Seeing everything that was happening in that building lit a passion for me that took me from someone who was here to earn a degree to someone who was pursuing a career that I was passionate about. So I'm grateful. It's an honor to be here today and be honored and to be back on campus. I walked over, the little dumpy house I lived in is still standing amazingly, but the rest of the campus has transformed in a way I could have never imagined. It's really stunning to see what's happening here, and I'm honored to be a part of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you to the fabulous Kate Elliott. We're stuck together. All right. At this time, I would like to invite Rick Martinez, Vice President of the Journalism Alumni Society, and Dr. Gabriel Tate, Associate Professor and Journalism Alumni Society Faculty Representative, someone's alarm's going off, to join me at the podium to induct two outstanding alumni into the Journalism Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon, everybody. An important part of today's ceremony is the induction of two new members to the Ball State University Journalism Hall of Fame. There are currently 56 members in our Hall of Fame, with 57 to 58 joining us today. Previous Hall of Fame inductees joining us today include, and if you could, please hold your applause until we introduce them all. Kathy Barks Hoffman, if you could please stand. Nancy Hastings. John Hughes, David Knott, Tony Majeri, Gene Polichinsky, Lisa Richardson, Michael P. Smith, Douglas Toney, Marilyn Weaver. Do we have any Hall of Fame people that snuck in today? Mark Popovich. Sorry, Mark, I didn't get, you're not on the official list here, but please stand up. If we could please give them all a round of applause. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us in our celebration of this important tradition. Today's event presents a very special opportunity to personally express our gratitude to all of you who contribute to the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication and its 55-year legacy of excellence, or as I like to say, the BSU SJSC. Now, Dr. Gabriel Tate will induct our two new members of the Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Frederick Blevins developed a love for journalism in the 8th grade when his English teacher linked the work of Shakespeare to that of American journalist H.L. Mencken. Since then, a series of mentors at Ball State and beyond instilled in him professionalism, accuracy, compassion, idealism. Sometimes those transition lenses are weird. And the old adage, when grandmother says she loves you, get 3 sources. Blevins graduated from Ball State in 1974 with a bachelor's in journalism and a teaching certificate before earning his master's in journalism as a cardinal in 1979. He taught at Ball State, San Antonio College, and Texas A&M University before earning his doctorate in journalism in 1995 from the University of Missouri, Columbia, where he also taught. He was the founding associate dean and professor of the University of Oklahoma, where he oversaw completion of the $17 million Gaylord Hall and founded the Oklahoma Institute for Diversity in Journalism, which continues to launch American Indian students into the profession. And I love that campus at OU. From 2006 to 2018, he served as a professor and for a time an associate dean at Florida International University. With more than 30 years in the classroom, he has taught nearly 16,000 students and founded or directed 3 university-based residential workshops for Hispanic and American Indian high school students, including the Peace Sullivan James Anson High School Workshop in Journalism and New Media at the University of Miami. To honor his impact on generations of journalists, the Freedom Forum named Blevins the National Journalism Teacher of the Year in 2005. When Blevins started at Southwest Texas State University in 2002, students gave him a plaque that read, "A great teacher is a lifelong treasure and an inspiration." He has also worked as a reporter and editor for more than 9 publications, including the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the Houston Chronicle, the Philadelphia Bulletin, the Tampa Bay Tribune, and as an editor, his reporters have won a multitude of state and national awards. On behalf of Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication and the Alumni Society, I am pleased to induct Frederick Blevins, Dr. Frederick Blevins, into the Ball State Journalism Hall of Fame.
Is this guy awesome or what? You paid me to say that. First of all, thank you guys a lot for for this getting around to this award before I officially timed out. There's a couple of people I want to thank, a number of people I want to thank who are in the audience. A couple of them are Hall of Famers. I came to Ball State, by the way, that 8th grade literature teacher was named Clarence Stout at Vincennes Lincoln High School, or Clark Junior High School in Vincennes. And he was the great-great-grandson of a guy by the name of Elihu Stout, who was the founder and the publisher of the Vincennes Sun, which was the official newspaper of the Northwest Territory. So he knew something about journalism. And he also used to walk around, he never drove a day in his life, and he used to walk around Vincennes in a black top hat and a black duster. And everybody knew who he was. And in Vincennes, that's pretty weird. But, and I want to thank, I came to Ball State not to study journalism. I came to Ball State to be not in the war, and to try to extend my ill-fated baseball career. And both of it worked. I got good enough grades to stay in school and stay out of the draft, and I made the baseball team. But then, because I went over to the TV, the broadcasting school, which was separate at the time, I got kicked out of the TV program and advised to go into the radio program because I had a face made for radio. And I did that, and then the next thing you know, they're telling me that I'm probably the best writer that's ever come into that program, and maybe I should try the Daily News. And I did. And when I walked into the Daily News, the 2 editors sitting in the newsroom were Michael P. Smith and Gene Polozensky, 2 Hall of Famers. And they hired me, like sight unseen. I thought, what are these guys, crazy? What are they doing? So I went to work for the Daily News and never looked back. And glad I didn't do the broadcast thing. So I'd like to thank both those guys. I'd also like to thank my wife, who we seem to meet our wives here. And I met her here 42 years ago, and 40 years ago we got married at the Universalist Unitarian Church here in Muncie. So 40 years. Wow, talk about timing out. And she's one of 5 sisters, and on the day of my wedding, my father appropriately said to me, "You marry one, you marry them all." And so there, 3 of them, 3 of the other 4, are here today. Would you guys stand up, please? And when you're staying in a bed and breakfast with 4 women, how bad can that be? And I'd also like to recognize Martin Rodden. Where's Martin? So this guy was a big catch for Ball State. We worked together at the San Antonio Light. Fantastic photographer, and I understand a pretty damn good teacher. So, Doug Toney, another Hall of Famer. We worked in 2 newsrooms, the Ball State Daily News, and then one summer when I was teaching at Texas State University, which used to be Southwest Texas State University, Doug and I somehow convinced the American Society of News Editors to sponsor a faculty internship for me to come work for him at the New Braunfels Herald Zeitung in Texas. And at the time, and I think it still is today, the internship at the smallest daily newspaper circulation in the United States. Thank you, Doug. We also share something else. We both won awards for writing about naked people. When he was at the Daily News, he did this fabulous story about a nudist camp. Well, how can you miss? And when I was the editor of the Daily News, I was the editor who supervised the coverage for a long, long time in one semester or one quarter, how Muncie became the capital of streaking in the whole world. That was the spring of 1974, and that story drove me crazy. But I got to put naked people on the front page of the Daily News. So you got that big award. I got the award for the editorial. And so Doug and I share a lot of things. But the guy that has the most influence here on me is sitting over there, the guy they forgot to put on the list, Mark Popovich. He was my first department head. Well, he was one of my first professors. He was my first department head. He was my graduate director. He was on you were on my thesis committee, right? He was on my thesis committee. And then when I was leaving Ball State to go back into the newspaper business, he said, you know, you really need to be in a classroom. You can't be as good in a newsroom as you are in a classroom. But I understand it. I left. He said, when you want to go back to get the union card, the PhD, call me and I'll get you in anywhere you want to go. I did. He did. And now we spend time in London together. Happily retired. Thanks, Mark. And I think that's everybody. Thank you all very much.
Excellent, excellent. That was our stand-up. And so, but, you know, if I can go off script for one thing, in listening to the bios of the people, of our awardees today, there's something that I'm hearing, which is that there's an affirmation that early in many of our lives, right, there's this inkling that we have of what we're supposed to do. And so I think this is a moment where I just want to encourage whomever's still wondering what it is that they're supposed to do, just trust that what that inkling was way back when, from second grade, for me it was sixth grade as a photographer. Trust that. And so with that, I'd like to read Pulitzer Prize winner Dr. Milbert O. Brown Jr. seemed destined for a career in journalism. As a shy second grader, young Milbert rushed home to tell his parents he aspired to become a reporter after his teacher assigned him the role of classroom reporter to improve his confidence. The native of Gary, Indiana, later purchased his first camera by selling newspapers in his neighborhood. He continued evolving as a storyteller, attending Ball State University's journalism workshops in 1973, graduating from Ball State with a bachelor's in journalism in 1978. He understands the importance of early journalism education and diverse topics and identities in the classroom. Brown was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in Journalism for exploratory reporting as a contributing team member for the Chicago Tribune. While serving as a faculty advisor at Howard University, Brown established the National Press Photographers Association first student chapter at a historically black college or university. Recently, he received the Award of Excellence for Sports Magazine reporting from the National Association of Black Journalists. Brown served as a photojournalist and sports photo editor at two of the nation's top newspapers, the Boston Globe and the Chicago Tribune, for 2 decades. As a writer, photojournalist, Brown covered South Africa's first free election as a member of the Foreign Correspondents Association. Later, a joint NABJ United Nations committee selected Brown to report on Liberia's elections, which is actually my research area. He covered the Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta and London and the National Basketball Association finals. Brown earned a master's in photojournalism from Ohio University and a doctorate in higher ed leadership from Morgan State University. He has taught art, media history, multimedia reporting, news writing, and photojournalism courses at high schools and universities. He cites Professor Bob Heitzelman and Ken Altwell as having a significant influence in his professional trajectory. Bob said he wants to be known as someone who persisted through racism and rejection to achieve his dreams. Those trials enabled him to capture the rich and complicated tapestry of the African American experience. Much of his work and service has focused on empowering journalists of color. On behalf of the Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication and the Alumni Association, I am pleased to induct Dr. Milbert O. Brown Jr. into the Ball State Journalism Hall of Fame.
How's everybody today? You know, I need some coffee. Last night, my brothers came in town, and family members that haven't seen each other all together because we live in different cities, I stayed up a little bit too late talking and listening to their stories, and so I'm a little tired, not because I'm old and decrepit, it's because this, and I am that too, but I haven't had enough coffee. But today I emerge from the heavens, the spiritual clouds of joy. Follow me. My soul sits on solid banks of a glorious stage. With welcome excitement, I realized that my name will be placed alongside of other accomplished Ball State journalistic legends. During this ceremonious moment, I know that my likeness will be carved in stone, and my long-awaited statue will rest on a special majestic Muncie Mountain, similar to Mount Rushmore. I could have wished that composer Quincy Jones or Williams would have graciously gave me a deliverance of their electrifying musical score, or the dancers from the Avon Ailey or Dance Theater of Harlem would have came and give us a ballet performance. I met the president today, and I met several people that I can't remember actually their names, but I've written them down, so if I mess your name up, please forgive me. But this is a great day. My purpose is not to celebrate me so much, but to celebrate you. That's why I'm here. I'm here because my father, God rest his soul, and mother, I'm standing here because he bent his back and put his hands in dirt for me to stand here today. And my father's dream was for me and my brothers to get a great education. I have two of my brothers here out of the four. One is passed, and my brother Cedric, who I think is the smartest brother. He's the only one that didn't get a doctorate. And yeah, he's the really smartest one. And then my brother Marvin, who is the youngest brother, Dr. Marvin C. Brown, who's the first brother to get a doctorate. And he's a military officer, retired lieutenant colonel. So I come from a great legacy of leaders and professionals that have done great things. I'm just another guy. I'm good at telling stories. I'm good at writing stories and taking photographs. That's all I can do. Don't ask me about no math problem, stats. I'm not good at that. And I'm just so honored and so grateful to what God has done in my life. And it's not all about me. It's about three groups of people. One is family, and I mentioned my family. Then my friends. I'm here with Herman Smith, who I went to college with here at Ball State, and I'm here because of Dr. Gabriel. Notice that Gabriel, that's an angel name, decided that I was worthy of being nominated for this distinguished award, and I thank him so very much, and he's doing such a great and excellent job here as a professor at Ball State. He will one day I'll be going to glory by then. He will be a emeritus. Also, I'd like to mention a Hall of Famer, a couple Hall of Famers I saw in the audience who are part of my friends level. Mark Popovich, I still have a paper in which I received a B. And guess what? I'm glad to get that B because all of the others were C's. And I thank him for helping me out, being a better researcher. Ken Atwell, certainly for making me a better writer. But most importantly, one of the greatest people in the world here at Ball State who did so very much for me, because I think he was kind of like my brother, because like me, my brothers that you see, they're taller than me. I'm shorter. And I think he was a brother too because he's shorter than me. And that's Bob Heisselman. I love him so much. I can't say enough good things really about him. We used to drink beer, and I wasn't smoking anything then. But but Bob, he was always such a great and jovial person. He never got mad. He always was for his students, and he worked so hard. Then, my other group, my third group is Foles. I didn't invite them tonight or today. Those are the people who said I couldn't make it. wouldn't be anything. And thank you. Thank you for discouraging me and making me stronger as a person and greater as a person. So I'd just like to thank the Ball State Committee for giving me this outstanding award. And I could stay up here and just talk all night, but I'm tired. I'm gonna get me some coffee. And I'm gonna be back. I'll be wired up in the next 20 minutes. I just need some coffee. And thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tate and everybody. Now I'm very pleased to present a special citation honoring SJSC alumni. It's rather ironic that I'm presenting this award because I used to work across the hallway and we were always very envious of these people, but, and I say this in all confidence, I was also a subscriber, and it's very unfortunate that that paper does not publish today. And those were the people, the editors, the reporters, the journalists on the Fort Wayne News Sentinel's 1982 Pulitzer Prize winning team for their coverage of the Fort Wayne floods of the Three Rivers in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I would like to invite all our alumni Pulitzer Prize winners from the News Sentinel who are in attendance today to please come forward when I call your name. If you can please remain at the front until everyone's name is called. Carrie Hubbard. Kevin Leininger. Daniel Luzader, or is it Luzer? I've heard it two different ways, I apologize. Charlene Myers. Bill Scott. Bob Jonason. Michael P. Smith. Mark, were you on the Sentinel staff? I want to make sure I didn't miss you there. So, is there anybody here else from the News Sentinel that was on the Pulitzer Prize winning team in 1982 that I missed? Of course, the 1982 coverage was awarded in 1983. And after 40 years, Ball State University and the then Department of Journalism, now the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication, remain grateful for all of your important work, not only on that wicked, wet, wondrous time that you were working in the rivers of Fort Wayne, but also since, and your continued significance of all the achievements that you've done since then, and also for your ongoing support of the School of Journalism and Strategic Communication, both our reputation and what we are as an institution. Please note that these fine people will be having a panel discussion during our conference today from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Alumni Lounge. If you could please recognize all these wonderful people from the Fort Wayne News Sentinel. Paola Fernandez Jimenez, a fourth-year advertising student at Ball State University, is the current president of Latinx in Media and is a marketing and digital content fellow for Ball State Public Media. Born in Mexico and raised in Mexico and Sweden before her family settled in Columbus, Indiana, where I'm also from, Paola chose Ball State for its renowned journalism programs based on the recommendation of her high school media teachers. With leadership awards and recognition for her work in the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, now known as Latinx in Media, She also holds a black belt in Taekwondo, just in case you need her help. Post-graduation, Paola aims to launch her career in communications and marketing in Indianapolis, leveraging her skills and experience gained during her undergraduate years here at Ball State. I now invite Paola to share her story.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to CCIM and the School of Journalism and Strategic Communications. It's truly an honor to be here before you, and this is something my 15-year-old self would have never imagined. My journey at Ball State began in the fall of 2020 amidst COVID regulations, face masks, quarantine, and Zoom. In my freshman year, I spent long hours in front of my college dorm, in front of a screen, often questioning my choice of coming to college at such a challenging time. The summer before my freshman year, my parents had suggested that I take a gap year to wait for the pandemic to subside. I cringed at the idea and expressed that I didn't want to fall behind. I often felt like I was running out of time. When I told my parents this, they gave me a strange look and said, "Paola, tienes 17 años, tienes mucho tiempo todavía. Paola, you're 17 years old, you still have so much time." As I started my first weeks at Ball State, having just turned 18, I just wanted to get involved in as much as possible, as I knew I couldn't change the circumstances of the pandemic, but I also wanted to make sure that I made the best of my time here. I joined various organizations and clubs, the Student Honors Council, the American Advertising Federation, Ball Bearings, and Latinx Student Union, all over Zoom. Towards the end of my freshman year, I was considering transferring schools or even taking a gap year, as I was dreading the thought of spending another minute in front of Zoom. Around that same time, at the end of spring 2021, Dr. Kevin Maloney reached out to a group of Latinx students from the Journalism and Strategic Communications Department. He proposed that we set up a chapter of the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, an organization meant to uplift Latinos in news and media. I still remember our first face-to-face meeting that semester. I had never been more excited to be surrounded by a group of Latinx students, as I eagerly counted down the days for the fall semester of 2021. During the summer, I asked Kevin if I could create an Instagram page to get started. I was enthusiastic to create a space where students like me could gather and grow professionally. To my luck, in the fall of 2021, we recruited students who were just as eager as me to kick off the club. Two of those members who helped us build the club are sitting here in the room with us. One of the biggest surprises we faced as a club was being invited to the president's house for a reception with John Quiñones, a TV host from the popular series, What Would You Do? I was also asked by Dean Turner to introduce Mr. Quiñones at his lecture. At the time, I had just learned public speaking skills through my Comp 210 class. Perfect timing. Although they never taught me how to get rid of the nerves. And as you can tell, I'm kind of nervous right now up here. But anyway, that day was amazing. Probably one of the best days in my career and at Ball State. Not to brag, but Mr. Quiñones reminded me that I reminded him that I looked like his daughter. And I got a kiss on the cheek from Dean Turner and Mr. Quiñones that day. Since that day, I've considered all the amazing opportunities that the School of Journalism has offered. My club and I have had many great opportunities come our way, such as having alumni Pulitzer Prize winner Erica Espinosa speak for us, meeting David Arquette at the President's House last semester, and the list goes on. Today, we have the honor of hosting a panel with New York Times graphic designer Marco Hernandez. Needless to say, although my first year or two at Ball State were challenging due to the pandemic, Ball State and my department have never let me down when it comes to opportunities for professional development and creating connections. There are little moments here and there when I remember that I always wanted to come to Ball State. One, I've been a part of student media since I was a junior in high school. I was doing a little bit of everything: photography, graphic design, interviewing, writing, and editing videos. My teachers at Columbus North High School, Rachel McCarver and Roth Lovins, inspired me to look into Ball State to pursue those interests, reminding me that Ball State had one of the best journalism programs in Indiana. Two, I came to Ball State for basketball tournament in my high school freshman team, and my mom made a comment saying, "Imagine if you come to school here one day." It's funny because although I don't play basketball here, I have one of the best teams on campus. Three, I visited Ball State's campus in the summer of 2019 with Project Stepping Stone, a program based in Indianapolis dedicated to helping Latino high school students pursue higher education. A little bit off topic, but do you all know the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Well, in the story, when she was taste testing the porridges of the bears, she tested all three of the porridges and said that two of them were too hot or too cold, but one of them was just right. That's how I feel about the campus. It wasn't too small, but it wasn't too big either. It was just right for me. And I completely fell in love with the campus after my visit here that summer of 2019. I remember I texted my mom and I told her that this is where I wanted to go to school. In conclusion, this journey at Ball State has been more than just a series of academic milestones. It's been a profound exploration of self-purpose. Navigating the challenges of the pandemic and seizing unexpected opportunities have strengthened my growth and resilience. The School of Journalism has not only honed my skills, but also fostered a sense of belonging. As I stand here today, I realize that my journey was not only about classes and clubs, but also discovering that I still have time. Thank you all for being part of my special experience and shaping my years at Ball State, and I'd like to leave you with my favorite quote. Disfruta la vida, hay mucho tiempo para estar muertos. Enjoy life, there's a lot of time to be dead. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so you might have noticed that we're running just a bit over time, so I promise that I will be brief in my closing remarks. I'm very grateful to all of you for your attendance today, and I'm very grateful to the work of one of the best teams in the business. It's a brand new team this year. I want to say a special thank you to Matthew Lowe, our project manager. He managed this extravaganza that we call the SJSC Conference Day. Each day presented a new challenge, which he was always excited to tackle. Thank you, Matt. Also, thanks to Alex Lukens and the UMS staff, Sam Clemens and David Champ, who are live streaming in the back. We appreciate them. Thank you to Brian Hayes, who is unable to be here today because he's managing the CCIM Career Fair. Thank you to Cammie Guerin for designing today's prep program. Thank you to Kate Elliott for your wonderful editing and contribution and overseeing student work. We mentioned the PRSSA students, who I think most of them have made it over to the Schron's lecture, but not all of them. I still see Grace. Thank you to our Project A team, Audra Raxter, Bethany Sloniker, Sungwon Chung, Mackenzie Winger. Also want to thank our faculty presenters, the Alumni Society, Josh Dunkel, the photographer, for their contributions today. And finally, and most of all, thank you to all of you for your unmatched spirit and support of Ball State University School of Journalism and Strategic Communication. Thank you so much. Don't forget to attend the Schron's lecture, which is starting right now. We're running right on time. Thank you all so much.